Full throttle, Steve coming by quick. Yeah, baby. 12 cells of power. Hey folks, Rich here at RCINFORMER with a quick announcement before we start the unboxing video. HSDJetsUSA.com is now open. What that means is that there is a USA warehouse now for HSD Jets. So go check it out, guys. This is going to be the first, hopefully, of many videos to show you guys. We have a flight video we're putting out at the same time as this unboxing video. But in the past, HSD has been handled by a lot of different distributors and suppliers and so forth. But now they have their own warehouse in Texas, and there's going to be planes, parts, and service. So go check it out. I put it in the link here and in the description below. I'm going to put the links there so you guys can go to HSDJetsUSA.com and check it out for yourself. And this Super Viper is really awesome. So let's go ahead and get on with the unboxing, and be sure to check out the flight demo video with the links at the end of it. Hey folks, Rich here at RCINFORMER. Today I have a real exciting review for you guys. I'm excited to show this. This is HSD's all-new 12-cell powered 105mm Super Viper version 4. Okay, if you guys hadn't remembered from years ago, you can always go back and look at my channel. I'll put some links probably here. I'll put some cards up here you guys can click on and look, or you can go to my YouTube channel, or at the end of the YouTube at this video. There's some links to some of the older videos flying of this airplane flying, and it was simply awesome. HSD, and the Super Viper especially, was always the Cadillac of all the foam airplanes out there. Back then they had a few little issues with them, but they were awesome. It's just that they were hard to get. They were working with several different vendors, but all of that, guys, is about to change. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the box. HSD is pretty much making a comeback here in the USA, and if you guys stay tuned to RCINFORMER, I'm going to get this thing open for everybody. I'm opening it here for the first time so you guys can see it. But HSD is making a comeback, and pretty soon on RCINFORMER, if you stay tuned, I'm going to be showing you some of the new stuff that's coming. I'm going to be getting in here, kind of opening this up. They box their stuff a little bit differently than some of the other manufacturers. They're still in foam crates, as you can see, but the quality of this thing is outstanding. In fact, I'm going to pull the instruction manual out first, just to show everybody. This is a colorized instruction manual, actually with a hard cover, and you can just see the quality of this thing right off the bat, and the ease of assembly. That's the assembly page, folks. 4 screws to put your nose cone on, 4 screws to get your tail on, 4 screws for your wing, and that shows you your tail screws there as well for your elevator. And there is a spar that goes through the main wing, one big spar and one going through the tail. That was a design I put in many years ago that the factory used to duplicate, because I did some of the early kind of R&D on this airplane years and years ago when they were first out. But look at the quality of this instruction manual, folks. Look how nice everything is. Everything's all laid out with the boxes and stuff. And there's some changes. Apparently there's a new fan in there. We're going to take a close look at that. Look at the quality of the gear and the instruction manual and everything. Just very, very nice. They're really HSD is really making an effort to just sort of blow the doors, I think, off of the competition. I'll tell you, just by looking at this instruction manual. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the box for everybody, just sort of one at a time. But you can see how nicely everything is packaged in this deal here. I'm going to go ahead and see if these aren't opened yet, but we'll go ahead and pull everything out of the box one at a time. Just right off the bat, you can see the aluminum back covers for the horns and everything, and how nice those are. Look at the quality of that. But let's go ahead and just get all the parts out. I'll pull them out one at a time, sort of to show everybody. And we'll just leave this running real time so you guys can see how nice this is. The stall fences are gone, the vortex generators that used to have lights in there. Let's go ahead and get all the pieces out here one at a time. Get the rudder out of here, pulling way over there. Get that out. That looks nice. We'll get those out. This is boxed a little differently, and just so you guys know, the box is huge. Here's a look at the fan unit. I actually got a second one for one of my other fans, and I'll show you this a little closer. These are all made in Germany now. Just super, super nice quality. What an outstanding fan. We'll get into more detail of that as we get more of this stuff out of here. Let me get the speed controller out. All this stuff is actually already mounted in the airplane. This is just an extra one I got because I need it for a different airplane. Let me go ahead and get this out of here. Get the top cover off. And they have double-deckered their box. Look how nice that is. Everything's wrapped in plastic. Everything is boxed nicely. You see that nose cone to the fuselage? And like I said, we'll take all these out of the bags and we will look at everything a lot closer. I'll unwrap everything, get it all out of there. But you see how nice everything is in here. All the horizontals are in here. We'll pull those out. I'm impressed with this thing, folks. I mean, holy smokes. This is really nice looking stuff. Way better than the earlier version of the airplane. Still similar molds, but they've obviously made a whole bunch of changes. And then here's your spars, your main wing spar and your tail spar. I think they're in each other there. And then the main fuselage, all bagged. One thing to note, folks, this is not white foam. This baby is painted, but we'll get in, we'll take a look at it. You see how big this is? It almost hardly fits inside my my camera frame here, guys. This thing is so big. But anyway, I'll lay out all the parts and we'll take a closer look at everything. You can see here all the parts laid out. I figured you guys probably didn't need to see me taking these things out of all of the bags, but I just had to cut them with scissors, get them all out there. They're all very well protected and the finish is just super nice on this thing. I am floored, guys. This is, call it the Cadillac, call it the Ferrari of foam airplanes, because this is it. Everything is awesome, and we're going to look in close detail at everything. Again, everything's there except for the instruction manual, and I just kind of blazed through that a little second ago there. CG shows 170 millimeters, and there are CG stickers on the wings that I'm going to show you. So they show right where it balances, just ahead of the landing gear, and then of course it's got some control throws in here. A few other things here I noticed in the back. Actually, as you run around, it shows individual parts. And HSD is going to have full parts on this baby. They're going to have these things ready to go for everybody. So if you need to change even some individual parts, I think they're going to have those. At least that's the plan anyway. And then you can see the motors and everything. It looks like we are dealing with a 700 kV motor. And this is a 12-cell airplane, so it needs two 6S packs, folks. 6-cell 5000s, 55s or 6s, it'll handle it. And then this is the only parts bag, folks. All you have is just a few screws to put this together. It's very, very fast out of the box. Really easy to get this this stuff together. I'm going to actually start with the fuselage here. Let me pull this thing up and show it to everybody. It is really big. Fortunately, the front of it is not on here, and I'm doing my best to handle it for you guys. But look how nice the decals are applied to this thing. You almost can't even see them. I'm not sure if they're decals or stickers. They look like they are water transfer decals that are applied, but holy smokes, folks, this is a far cry better than the ones I showed off years ago. Performance is probably going to be about the same, maybe a little better with the new fan, but the latch looks the same, looks really nice. And then look inside this cockpit, folks. Look how detail oriented this thing is. And they have a nice floor liner down there that'll grip the batteries. Nice big battery straps. And then of course AN, or we call them AS 150 connectors. I'm trying to unscrew these things for you. Let me see if I can put the tail down and I'll show you that. Let me get that tail cone on the ground and I'll show you how these things look. Essentially what these are the best. These are 7mm, folks. They unscrew. And what it is they are a spark arresting, I'll put this back on later, they are a spark arrestor bullet, 7mm, so they're tough, and you can unscrew to inspect the solder links or desolder and resolder them, so it's real nice how these things go on. So we're dealing with a 12-cell system. You want some serious bullets, so you connect everything, and then this is your last connection, and it stops that popping arc, you know, that arc from happening, and it arrests any kind of spark from making any kind of spark. You can see here on the front, this thing is huge. Here's one design feature they put in that's just out of this world, folks. When you connect your nose cone, which just goes on with these 4 screws, you used to have to plug everything in. Now check that out. I'm even going to zoom in on that baby. It is a single point connector. So your nose retract, your steering, your lights, it's all on one plug. Just simply awesome. Here's a closer look at the cabin area. I was having a hard time holding this thing, guys, and showing you all this, so I thought I would just sort of break it down into a separate clip, so I'll just insert this in there. Your main power wires here, as we just talked about, and your battery floor, which is real nice. It is a mushy
kind of a spongy foam, kind of like the shelf liner that I use on most of my planes, but this will grip the battery and hold it in place. Nice big fat strap. I'm noticing that there's not another one in here, so probably need two for this, and you can see the strap holders, and then also down in here are the slots for the straps. You can see down here too that this does require a additional two-cell LiPo to power everything, which is really nice. Now here's your BEC right here, and then under that is your, I think underneath there is your brake control module, and that drives all of your brakes, and then your main control, main junction box right here, where everything is. And you can see how everything's nicely labeled. You've got elevator, you've got ailerons, you've got, let's see, all the different, I think this one here is the brakes. So the brake channel, you've got, which probably just connects to a switch, throttle channel. So it talks about all these things are set up and ready to be plugged in nicely. And then down here is your landing gear control box, as you can see. And this is all nicely mounted here to the bottom. And it has 4 screws, one on each corner, so the whole thing can actually be removed and out of there. But everything is very organized, everything's very neat and clean, and it's just a really nice compartment all set up the way it is. So far, if I only have one complaint about this thing, and it's a very small one, is this tray actually unscrews, but it looks like the glue just came off, and it just sits right back down there. So it's a very small thing. I'll glue that back on. Usually in the past, I think the circuit board or all the modules were attached to that back wall, so they're gone now. You can push your batteries back now, you know, really as far as you need to now. But this thing is sweet overall. I'm doing my best to maneuver it, folks, because this is a very large airplane. Let me see if I can run down the side of this thing, show you how nice these decals are applied. And then we go to the side here. That's where your main wing spar goes through. You want to make sure when you push that through, you know, you're not going through any wires or anything, because there are a few wires running there you can see through there. So carefully you want to put that in. There's your single point wing connectors that are on your wings. There's your metal threads, and the entire side of this thing is one piece of plastic, okay, that acts as basically the wing root and the fillet. And then across the bottom there's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I did a metal fan install there. And then you can see the massive speed controller in there. I think it's 160 amp, and the fan is already installed. Like you guys saw, that fan and speed controller came out of the box. That's because I got an extra one. I just need it for my other Viper that blew a fan while I was at Null in the fall, so I just needed a replacement fan for that Super Viper. And that's how you get your hatch off. Again, those 4 screws, your whole lower hatch comes on. Here's a change on the new airplane from the old. They went ahead and tapered this. This ventral fin in the back used to come straight out and then go up, and it used to always hit the ground. So they went ahead and got rid of it, and actually I think the plane looks a whole lot better without it. It looks really nice. There's your plastic fittings. That's my spar mod I put in there a long time ago. They went ahead and duplicated it at the factory. Now there's a spar tube, which you guys can see right down there, out of aluminum. That just passes through. Now you got a spar tube running through your entire horizontal stabilizer. And you've got your plug-in right there. If you look down at your elevators, there's little plugs that come in. That's your single servo plug. There's your plug for your rudder that goes right in there. And let's see here. As we run across here, let me look at the front of this thing, or look at the tail here. You can see the tail cone is really nice. You can see your 105 millimeter fan in there. I do see one wire down there that's kind of hanging there, and that's just for your rudder. So you just want to secure that and make sure that that thing is up and out of the way when you get this thing going. But you can see the tail cone there is plastic running all the way around. And let's go to the other side. I'll see if I can turn this around. Again, this thing's big, guys. It's kind of tough to maneuver this thing around because it is such a big model. But really nice overall. You see the decals on this side. Super nice, folks. Just loving this thing so far. I'll go ahead and get this down and we'll get to the next part. Again, this thing is big and it's kind of tough to maneuver around. And once you get the nose cone on there, folks, it gets even bigger. So we'll go ahead and put that right back down where it was. We'll go ahead and we'll get the nose out of here. Check this thing out. They just did a killer job on this. The decals are on there nicely applied. Whoever's putting those on is doing a real good job. And then inside, here's your single point connector, and here's where I have some things to show you guys. Look how nice that is, just one that passes right through. So if you needed to disassemble this for transport, heck, it's real easy. I don't think you need to, but if you had to, 4 screws that come out, unplug your single point, you're good to go. There's your landing gear in there. This is creme de la creme, guys. Top-notch stuff. Watch this thing. This is a first for RC for me anyway, since I mostly deal with foam models. But take a look at the quality of the machining of this thing. Look how nice the servo is attached to the strut with a nice metal bracket. And then in addition, we actually have an actual oil air shock, or oleo type shock. So it compresses and it springs back slowly. It has a soft eject kind of thing to it. That way, if you hit the ground and you bounce, the landing gear doesn't spring the airplane back up in the air. And you can see right down in there, you can see your rubber O-ring in there, and there's probably a little bit of oil and so forth in there that compresses your gear but doesn't spring it back. It lets the plane absorb all the shock of grass and landing without bouncing your airplane back up in the air. So simply outstanding, guys. Again, that's a first for me for electric airplanes. Servo-driven door, and you can see how just nice this whole thing is. Again, there are 4 screw holes. Your wire passed through to join the front to the back. Just simply awesome, folks. This is going to be something else to get this out there. We'll get on to one of the wing panels. They're all about the same. I'll pull this one out. Actually, you know what? Let me take this one here. Since that one's pointing up top there, we'll get this out of here. This is a newer wing, or a modified wing from the original one. This plane has a tremendous wing. It turns fantastic. It's very forgiving, doesn't stall easily at all. But they did away with the stall fence. There used to be one right here. Stall fence, vortex generator. It was a piece of plastic. It was kind of a pain in the neck to take on and off the thing. But now we don't have to deal with it. And there's a light, real nice super bright wingtip light and lens. The fit and finish on this thing, folks, is just phenomenal. You can see the wing plate up here. That's right above where the wing mount is. I don't know if that screws into that or joins into that. It might. But you can see your CG stickers right here. But I am impressed with this. Now, starting here at the root, you can see where your spar tube goes in. Single point connector, really top notch. You got your plastic fitting. This whole end cap is just one big plastic part. It joins up nicely with the plastic root, and that's what's so nice about this thing. Great fit and finish all the way around. As we get to the underside, you can see your hinges for your flaps. Your aileron has 3 hinges as well. And here's one of the best parts. They're making turbine versions of these models. So they have upped the ante on the linkages. And I'm real impressed with this part. It is steel, baby. That is a steel horn on there. And I believe the backside is aluminum. So it's metal, but it's light. The screws thread through there. And you've got one super tough horn there. I mean, look at that. And it doesn't twist in there because you got a double-sided horn with a ball link in the middle. So just outstanding. That's probably a flow-through from the turbine versions of these planes because they had to make the linkages better. These all used to be plastic, but now they're metal, and you got a nice thick rod as well. So we are benefiting in the electric plane world with this plane with just super nice linkages. And then, of course, the landing gear. Top notch. All your E-rings on all these things, you want to put a little bit of foam tack or contact cement to keep those in place from falling out. You can see these are proprietary HSD Jets, 65 millimeter, all ball bearing supported. You can see how nice that is. There's even a wheel well cover down in there that stops your wires. You can see them in there that come in from your wing connector. It keeps them on the other side so they don't interfere with the gear. And you notice your wire coming here to your gear. We now have wheel brakes. Now the Super Viper electric version doesn't really need wheel brakes. However, we got them, so it's kind of nice. The turbine version really needs them because this plane slows to a crawl, but now the airplane has wheel brakes, and honestly with the ball bearings, yeah, maybe we will because it'll probably coast pretty well. But just top-notch aluminum parts, folks. Everything's tie wrapped in your wires. Simply outstanding. Tons of spar slots. You can see the jig holes here for your spar slots, your main spar, another spar running through there. So just simply outstanding, folks. I'm really dying to get this. I can't wait to get this one out there and fly it around. We'll stick that back there. Take a look at the horizontal stabilizer. I'll pull the spar just to show you. This was a design I put in years ago when the Super Viper didn't have a tail spar, the version 1. And this is where I put it in one of my videos years ago. It's still online.
And then the factory took the idea and just used it, which is kind of nice. It really, really makes the plane really solid in the back. And you can see here a nice horn back here, folks. Look at that, steel horns on this baby. So it is a 12-cell airplane. You do have your plastic end caps. There's your connector for your horizontal stabilizer. So, and your aluminum top plate. I am impressed, folks. I'm really digging how nice that these parts are and how improved HSD has gotten. Let me pull this horizontal or vertical stabilizer and rudder. Look at that paint job. Look how nice that is. I think I ding that up a little bit there, but it does have a spar running through here. You got your nice steel horn and your aluminum back plate there. Your hinges running through here. I'd probably like to see submerged style hinges on this, but guys, it's a sport jet, so it has traditional hinges. Really nice plastic lower cap on this thing. Screws on with 4 screws all the way around, and there's your connector. So really sweet, good looking airplane overall. Like I said, fit and finish is awesome. And then I'll get to the really the last part. This is a real simple plane, folks, and that's your canopy. They went ahead and they put in a sort of a breakaway section, simulated breakaway section for, you know, ejection seats and so forth. And this thing pops in real nice. Ooh, they went to a metal catch here at the end for your canopy latch mechanism. And then, of course, you can get your pilots out. You can unscrew this thing, or it's not unscrew, but untape these and pop these out. You can get your seats out. It looks like, is there an instrument panel in there? Yeah, there is an instrument panel in there. It looks like it's a decal on there to keep it light. But you can get your seats out, and you can put pilots in there if you want to. So, kind of nice overall. So, I'm impressed, folks. I'm really blown away by the quality of this. I'm going to show you 2 more things here. First of all, I'm going to show you the fan. This is an 11-blade fan. This is kind of some new technology coming to HSD. This is straight from the factory. This is going to be brand new in the newest airplanes that they're putting out. And these are, like I said, made in Germany. It's an 11-blade fan, but you can see how nice the carbon composite is. This is supposed to be very powerful. It's supposed to be even better than a lot of the metal fans. So we will see how it goes as I flip it around here. You can see the outrunner portion of the motor. The motor in the plane that I just showed you looked like it's a little different. So this might be the newer fans they're getting ready to put in, because usually they're constantly making changes. One other difference to note is these blades, if I'm not mistaken, are actually individual blades. You can see the separation from each blade right there. The reason they do that is because it makes it easier to dynamically balance this thing. When you take individual blades and you weigh each one and get them within a real tight tolerance, I may even throw a picture up here. You check with them to a certain tolerance, then you can match blades. You can put them all in here, so right out from the get-go, they're almost balanced the same. And then when you spin it and you dynamically balance, and that means balancing it while it's spinning, less balancing needs to be done. So they're already better as it is. So that's why they're using individual blades, is just to dynamically balance it better. And then the speed controller in this baby is pretty much a monster. I had to put that fan down for a second. That thing's big. This baby is 160 amps. You can see the size of this thing. It is gigantic. You can see the size of the wires. I think these are they 10 gauge or 8 gauge? 10 gauge wires on these things. And it is simply awesome. Look at this thing. Again, AS-150 shock arrestor bullets, 7 millimeters. These are the best, guys. These are just simply awesome. Just get that to focus on there. So again, you make all your connections with your batteries, and then this red one with the spark arrestor tip is the last one, and there's either a capacitor or whatever's in there to absorb the initial contact, and you get no spark, so the spark is eliminated. So anyway, guys, that's it for the review. I'll be getting the flight videos done here soon. In the meantime, you guys can check some of my flight video links. I'll put some cards up here around. I'll put some links at the end of the video that you guys can click on and see the earlier version of this fly. Same power, but now we have just or actually probably a little better power. But now we have just tremendous quality. And like I said, guys, HSD's making a comeback. So stay tuned at RCINFORMER. We're going to have some more videos for you guys as time goes on here, as the weeks and days, weeks, and months go on. And HSD is going to be putting out some fabulous stuff, and there's also going to be, hopefully, parts and service, that kind of stuff coming soon as well to support everything. So anyway, guys, hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for the flight demo videos. Thanks for watching RCINFORMER, guys, and as always, we will see you next time. Full throttle Steve coming by quick.
Yeah, baby. 12 cells of power.